because they were tired of eating barbecue. 9:34. Let's go over to the CNMI now. Guam residents to the right, please. All inbound travelers, non-returning residents over here. You're about to get swabbed. But my daughter said that the swab in the CNMI, it was a gentler swab than what she got here in Guam. So there's that, guys. It's a gentle. It's like, oh, tickle, get out of that nostril. Not like the one we got was
as opposed to the brain.
Yeah, tip your brain there. Hey. So we have from the CNMI Democrats, Nola Hicks here, and then from the Republican side, of course, Kevin Bautista. Unmute and good morning, Democrats and Republicans of the CNMI.
Repping their colors,
good morning.
Too.
Good morning, Chris, Bree, Jason. Morning, sis Nola.
Good morning.
Guys, how contentious is this going to be? Because I know there's a lot of friction between the parties. I mean, here on Guam as well.
There's friction, but Kevin and I are colleagues. I think we pretty much know how to keep it professional.
Oh shucks, it's no fun when it's professional.
We'll be good.
I've known Nola since I moved back home in 2015, and I've worked with her in several capacities in the past. And granted, it's an election year. It's an even-numbered year. It's a means to an end at the end of the day for a political process. And we're just all, and I know that both parties are encouraging people to come out and vote from Precinct 1 to Precinct 7. So I continue in Rhoda.
Let's just start. We'll start with what's at stake in this election. Obviously, we do follow the goings-on in the CNMI, but, I mean, I'll admit only really on the surface from what we get because there's just so much going on here. So if you guys could tell us what issues are at stake for your respective parties. And I'll go ahead and start with you, Nola, representing the Democrat Party of the CNMI. Nola Hicks.
Well, I guess the last time I saw you guys, or the last time we had our interview, we were talking about Black Lives Matters on Guam. So I've come a long way. I'm 7 months pregnant. I've been the chairwoman of the Democratic Party. This is my second term. Just proud to be here, very grateful, ready to get back to Guam, to my husband. But yeah, this election is, there's a lot at stake, not just nationally, but very much locally. I think the Democrats here, we're running a very historic race. We have 9 amazing women running for office, the first ever in the history of the CNMI. Strong, intelligent women. And I think, for us, what's at the ballot and what's important to us is just, restoring that public trust, fiscal responsibility. And I'm sure our counterparts in Guam have been reading a lot in the newspapers. And, this is why we're rolling up our hands and, rolling up our sleeves, and we're just ready to get to work. The momentum here is just, it's been very positive. I know, the opposition, we go at it, but, the truth and the facts are what matters. I think that when the system is not working for us, we need to do what we can to fix it. So I think that the first big step is just acknowledging that, there are some serious issues here in the CNMI, and we're so close to Guam. So a lot of the issues are relative, but being a resident of Guam and being a resident here in the CNMI, I've been able to compare, the way that the governments operate. And so, with COVID, it's been a struggle. I was supposed to be here for 3 weeks, and I've been here for 3 months. You talk about, COVID testing. I think my daughters had more swabs and COVID testing than Trump. So, the testing is real. COVID is real. I think it's very important that we secure health care for our residents to be able to go through a pandemic without health insurance is very concerning. This is a serious issue. And as you know, hundreds of employees, government employees have been furloughed. We're dealing with austerity, delays in PUA payments in comparison to Guam. So there's a lot that we can learn from each other on the COVID end and on the government end. But I think the main thing here and what's at stake in this election is just restoring respect, public trust, and fiscal responsibility. That's our main purpose.
Kevin?
Unmute. Unmute.
Unmute,
Unmute,
Kev.
Kev.
Unmute. Oh, wow.
I apologize.
You must be flustered.
All right.
She got you shook.
Yeah, I got you shook. Forgot how to unmute.
Thanks, Chris. So for the CNMI Republican Party, we know that our islands and our entire world is seeing unprecedented times because of COVID-19. In the past, during the CNMI, we've had this mantra called Mariana Strong, where we've overcome a lot of challenges and continue to face with dedication and commitment. But there's no place in the world where we'd rather be than here in the CNMI, the safest place in the United States from COVID-19, because of our governor, lieutenant governor, our Republican leadership's hard work, proactive planning from the very get-go, and collaboration with doctors, nurses, first responders, and with our business community. We have a lot of people at the table right now that have been a part of the process and part of the discussion, the hard, difficult discussion of public governance. And I think when we're talking about what's at stake here in this election, we're talking about the record of progress that the CNMI Republican Party has been able to provide over the last few years before the 2018 typhoon season and before the COVID-19 pandemic. By no fault of our own, CNMI has been hit by 2 devastating typhoons and a global pandemic that set our economy back. But the work continues. We have not stopped working to create progress for our islands and to fulfill the dreams of a better life for people and for the children who call these islands home. All over the community, our candidates from Precinct 1 to Precinct 7, from the Northern Islands to Saipan, Tinian, and Rota, we've enjoyed listening to people's concerns and ideas. It's helped our governor, our lieutenant governor, and our Republican leadership be the best leaders that they can be. And their commitment to the CNMI hasn't stopped. Despite 2 typhoons and COVID-19, our dedication to the people remains a much stronger commitment. And if we're talking about what's at stake in this election, I think we're going to be also talking about measuring up records and actual platforms. The Republican Party has been the party of real solutions and the true party of the people. We've been focused on making sure that putting people first, despite all the disinformation campaign that's been put out, obviously during an election year, but putting in together, real solutions to the island's problems, putting in the hard work and dedication, and by working together. And I think the great thing about being in the Republican Party here in the CNMI, a lot of people are under this tent, and a lot of people have been out there expressing their concerns, expressing their needs, and exactly what they want to do to make our islands better. We have the experience and we've had the knowledge, and we have a great mix of young and old, and a diverse coalition of folks from all over the islands, including our absentee voters who continue to call us up and tell us what we need to do better, and at the same time too, what we need to do to make sure that when they're ready to come back home, that they'll be home ready and willing. And right now, so far, because of our COVID-19 response to our off-island voters, especially on Guam, the governor, lieutenant governor, our Republican leadership, we got home, we got family covered and taken care of. We've done our very best to keep COVID-19 well contained. 96 cases here in the CNMI so far as of November 3rd. And we're going to continue to keep doing good work on public health, public education, and public safety.
I'm just going through the specimen ballots that were posted on the CNMI Election Commission's website, and it's only for precincts 1 through 5. And I only see one candidate in the delegate race, independent, Gregorio Khalili Sablan. Are there no other? Is he running unopposed?
Yes, so Gregorio Khalili Sablan is fully endorsed the CNMI Democratic Party and is definitely running unopposed this year. So he's just, what a blessing to be able to bring in, millions of dollars to the CNMI despite the opposition's personal attacks. I think the main thing that we can all acknowledge is that, it's put up or shut up, right? You could either put up an opponent or not. So, we're very, very grateful for his endorsement, and we're just looking forward to more celebrations tonight.
Mm-hmm. So Kevin, couldn't find any Republican to go up against Gregorio?
Not during this midterm election, but Nola brought up a great point about federal funding. And one of the things about federal funding is that the local government and the state government have to put in the work and the applications in order to provide for the federal funding. Congress can appropriate the money as much as they can, via the CARES Act, any sort of stimulus package from Congress or from the White House. But one of the biggest things that this administration and this Republican leadership has been able to do is to leverage that partnership with the federal government. Applying for those federal grants requires us to be able to walk the halls of the White House, walk the halls of Congress. Over the last 4 years, since 2016, quite frankly, the Republican Party has been in the halls of Congress and in the White House, talking to both Democratic leadership and Republican leadership in both houses, and focusing on our efforts to making sure that federal funding for recovery-related projects, especially after the 2018 typhoon season, has been a main priority. Just a few weeks ago, we announced that we just finally been awarded, after 2 years of planning, working with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, $240 million for disaster-related projects for Super Typhoon Yutu. And I think the biggest things for us is making sure that we leverage this funding, ensure that we provide some stimulus into the business community, and making sure that people's homes are rebuilt based off of the 2019 building code that we just adopted, and making sure that we continue to provide economic opportunity and expanding economic development here in the CNMI in a very sustainable way. So in terms of federal partnerships and federal relations, regardless of the party in the federal government, the Republican Party has been proven to work with both the Obama administration and the Trump administration. We've been able to get exactly what we need for the CNMI, for the CNMI's interests, and we continue to look forward to keep doing that. Just like NOLA, we'll be celebrating as well tonight, making sure that we continue our message with our supporters. We just recently had a 1,000-car motorcade over the last weekend, and it's been spread out from Saipan, Tinian, and Rhoda, and I think it speaks to the volumes of support the Republican Party has here in the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands.
All right. Thank you guys for coming on. Hopefully we can check in with you later on this evening.
And I just want to issue the challenge here to both of the parties. Who can send the best care package to Guam and the link? It's on. I want to know
Well,
who's...
you know, I actually saw the care package from Dolly at DHL.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, really, Dolly? You gave them all the blueberry bread?
Yeah, there was a shortage after
It was
that.
awesome.
I heard.
She's great. She's great.
Yeah, but I want to see who can put together a greater care package, Kev. So the challenge is on there.
I will hand deliver it when I come home.
All right.
all
Hey,
right.
congratulations too.
Step it up, Kev. Step it up.
I'll send a care package to you guys, Chris, Bree, Jason, and the team at KUAM. Unfortunately, I can't go back to Guam like NOLA, but we're going to do our best to send over a package for sure.
All right, on. Guys, and if you're up tonight as the results come in, shoot us a message. We'd love to have you on during our election night coverage.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Of course.
All
Yep.
right, take
From
care.
the Republicans, we have Kevin Bautista, the Democrats at CNMI, Nola Hicks. Thank you, guys. Be safe. Wash your hands. On our end, there's virtual Swordfish Keligwin. And we've also got virtual Bonella Saga. There's virtual Bonellas Dogu, but I don't know if Governor Calvo took most of it. So we got the syrup, too. If
Or
you're...
there was a little bit of a food fight, so...
All right, so we take a quick break. Thank you again. It's 9:47 on The Link, Election Day. And this episode, the November 3rd edition of The Link, is proudly brought to you by Dial Rent.